Hey everyone, this is Phoenix Tremaine here, and this is my review of Empire. If you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe to me. If you have, thank you very much. I really do appreciate all of my subscribers, and my links for all my social media is in the description box, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all down there because I'm all over social media. But anyway, you're here for my Empire review. Now, I gotta say, the last episode of Empire really disappointed me. I said it was the first episode I actually thought was. I won't even say I don't like it. I was bored. So this episode was actually a step up because there were a lot of moments that had me smiling, and so I was really happy that Empire made me smile. It still is missing a lot of elements. It's missing Cookie being Cookie. Cookie has really been on the back burner. Whereas in season one, she was the main character in all the storylines, had love interests, everything. And then come season two, it's like maybe they felt Taraji was becoming too big in the show. And so they kind of brought Cookie a little bit more down to earth, which is ruining the show because people literally were watching for her. So if you're a Dynasty fan, you don't let Joan Collins not be Joan Collins and do Alexis the way she's supposed to be done. And I feel like Cookie isn't being done the way Cookie needs to be done to keep the show being a success. And if they are trying to bring Taraji's character down a little so that she's not too big, they're ruining the show. It just, they're ruining it. But this episode was all about Lucius taking down Hakeem. As always, Lucius it will do whatever it takes to get what he wants. So he knows there's a big board meeting, shareholders meeting coming up. So he does things like he knows that there are certain things that Hakeem can say to show that he's been a good CEO. So he breaks into the Empire warehouse and he steals all of the clothing for the clothing line so that he doesn't have clothes that he can show and sort of show that, well, you didn't have enough security. And then he plants drugs on the tour bus for the equipment and stuff so that it gets seized by police. So that the girls on tour can't even finish their tour. And Hakeem confronts him, but he's like, this family don't snitch on each other. So, yeah, Hakeem doesn't snitch. But, he's really pushes Hakeem into such a corner that he can't come out of it. And Cookie comes to save him, which we all knew she would do. But she gets on stage and stops Lucius from obliterating Hakeem. But in the end, Hakeem doesn't remain CEO. The board kicks him off. However, this is my prediction, and I think this is going to be the twist. I think Cookie is going to be made the CEO of Empire. Someone in the audience screamed, "Cookie, it should be you." And I said, did that comment? That comment was put out there on purpose. And the reason why I think Cookie will end up being the CEO of Empire is because Lucius did all this stuff to get rid of Hakeem. He gets rid of Hakeem, and instead of them saying, "Okay, Lucius, you're back. You're the CEO again," no, they didn't name a CEO, which means that that's a variable out there that the show is still has in play, and the only other person who could become CEO would be Andre or Cookie. And Andre is too unstable. Lucius would definitely decimate him if he tried to step up. But Cookie is the only one who Lucius would have a serious problem getting the CEO chair back from. They also mentioned that someone in Empire will fall. They didn't say die. So I've always thought at the end of the season that somebody would get shot. Probably Lucius, or they won't show you who was shot. But I always felt like, as a shocker to make people come back for the season three to see who got shot, that they would do something like that. So When they said a lion would fall, I wasn't surprised, but they said by the end of the season. So they want you to keep watching, not knowing what episode that one of the lions will be in trouble. And it's going to be a season finale, duh. Um, but that's my prediction. But I will say this: there was something the Empire hasn't done all season, and that shocked me. I mean, they had a surprise that I wasn't ready for, but I'm actually wondering where they're going to go with this. And Terrence Howard, Lucius Lyons, he wants to win Andre back to his side because he was able to do so much with Andre as his right hand man until he found the church or whatever. But now that they're kind of easing Andre away from that church storyline, because they're trying to get everybody back to the way they were before. Like, for instance, Anika. I love seeing Terrence Howard and Grace Gailey. Well, now she's Grace Byers, because Trey and, which is Andre, and Anika, they got married in real life this week. So, good for them. But, I love seeing them together because it's been so long since we saw Anika and Lucius together, and it just reminded me how they started off as such a powerful couple before Cookie came along. And I'm like, I kind of like seeing that dynamic again because that's when she was really doing shit. But anyway, basically, he works on Andre by saying, he only does what he does because his mother was bipolar, and maybe if they work together as a team again, that he would be able to work through some of those issues. And then Andre asked Rhonda, like, what can we do to get our marriage back together? And she said, I really liked our marriage back when we were trying to steal Empire. So, when we were working together to steal Empire. So that's why I said Andre could potentially be the next CEO of Empire because, Hakeem's done it, Jamal's done it, Lucius has done it. The only two members of the family that haven't been the CEO of Empire is Cookie and Andre. So there is a chance that Andre may go for that Empire seat. But he took him to his mother's grave, or Andre's grandmother's grave, and to really, go home about, my mother was bipolar. If only she was alive. I didn't realize at the end of the episode it's going to turn out that Lucius' mother actually is alive. The fuck? So that was the surprise of Empire. I was really surprised that Lucius' mother is alive. She don't look nothing like Kelly Rowland. Like, she looked more like Clarence Howard than she would an older version of Kelly Rowland, because we know Kelly Rowland is chocolate, and Lucia's mother, as an older lady, is light skinned. Whatever. And the only other thing that happened was Cookie is scared that because Lucius killed Frida Gat's father, that she'll find out and cause trouble, and she just wants to get rid of her. So she contacted this big rapper. I thought it was going to be a real, like Nicki Minaj or somebody, but, it was an extra, basically, who came in as a female MC. This will be like the biggest one on the planet. But she had a clause that she could only be the only female on the record, which meant that he couldn't work with Frida Gatz. And we've seen how Jamal and Frida actually flow well together and actually sound really good together on the record. But he dumps Frida for this other rapper, and then when the other rapper isn't available to do the track with him, he's an artiste, so he needs that creative process of going back and forth. And Cookie's like, this is how they do it in the industry. You really think Lil Wayne, they really named Lil Wayne. Do you really think Lil Wayne, as many tracks as he drops, he's in the studio with the person? No. He's doing that shit on the tour bus, and sending it in. And we all know that, there have been different tracks. I think Eminem and Rihanna, or it was Rihanna and somebody, that were on a track together, and it was like, well, we weren't even in the same state. They just put that shit together in the studio and called it a day. But that's just how the industry works. And in the real world, you know, a good CEO would have came in and said, "Look, Jamal, you want to do this shit? You know, fuck it, you're doing it." You know, but Jamal went crawling back to Frida Gatz, who turns out that she cuts hair. She's a barber, and she says she might go to the studio. She might not, but I mean, it was actually realistic that she didn't go running back to the studio with Jamal because, you know, Lucius, you know, got her hopes up, and then she dropped her from the track, that Bang Bang trap, and then here comes his son Jamal, and Jamal's like, "Hey, I'm putting you on 2 tracks," and she's like, "Yeah, let's do this." She's all in the studio, and she's like, "Man, I'm sorry, but you know, we got this other chick," and she was like disappointed, like, "All right, I'm out." You know, then he comes crawling back, and she's looking at him like, "Bitch." If this queen don't get out my barbershop. So that was Empire. It was fun. It wasn't great the way it's been in the past, but it's really giving me high hopes that it will continue to get better, because I actually see them going backwards. But since when they went forward, they really fucked up and made the show boring and unwatchable. That the fact that they're slowly easing the characters back to where they were, is a good thing. The only thing that I don't like is that they're taking too long to just put the pieces back together and get people where they need to be. They're slowly doing it, and so the show's not as exciting as it used to be. Now, I would like for them to make Cookie back to the way she used to be, and I think the show ratings would go back to where they were because people love Cookie. And if, you know, she starts saying, it used to be a time where Cookie would say, you know, every episode she would drop a one-liner. And, you know, this season, you know, she only had, the first half of the season, she had a couple one-liners when the first show first opened. But, you know, we need Cookie memes again. We need people talking about, oh, look at what she wore. Look at what she did. Look what she said. She had her hair in a bun. Okay. Her outfit was okay. It's better than shit she was wearing in the first half of the season. But people like her wearing that pimp shit. They want her in a fur coat. They want her looking like a boss. You know, boss bitch. That's what they want. And they want her doing shit. And they want her to have a man. You know, she hasn't really, except for that first half of the second season, you know, she ain't had a man since. They even been mentioning that, oh, she's falling back for Lucius, but they don't really have any scenes with her and Lucius falling back together again. And I heard on the blogs that there might have been some friction between Taraji. I ain't trying to start no shit, but there might have been some friction on the set between Taraji and Terrence. That's why they're not having love scenes and shit like that. Or, you know, I don't know. But that's just a rumor. I ain't trying to start no shit. I'm just saying that could be one of the things that's going on. But I would love for Empire to get back to being the show we love. I feel like this episode puts us closer back on track, but they're taking too fucking long. It's just too slow. So, I mean, if you want, you know, tell me what you think about the show. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you feel like they're being too slow? You know, are you still watching? Did you like this episode? What would you like to happen, and who do you think's gonna get shot? In probably the season finale. And I hope Anika don't lose her baby because they just showed it next week. She's already having labor issues and shit. It is way too soon for her to be having issues with her pregnancy when she had her midriff out in this episode. So she's not even really showing. So that's it for my review of Empire. Hope you'd enjoy it. And I'm glad to experience this with you. Peace.